Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and my page. So it's a beautiful Saturday out here in LA. It's early in the morning, it's 9 o'clock out here on the West Coast, and I'm feeling great. I'm just kind of like, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised at the stuff that, you come across on social media. And it's like people just try to do things for attention. It's like a lot of videos that are made, I'm realizing, against Dr. Umar Johnson on social media, people are just looking for attention. They have nothing else better to do. And I come across this one woman's channel, right? And I'm like, who in the hell is this? First of all, she's hiding behind, she ain't even showing her face. She's hiding behind a screen. And I always get kind of skeptical of people who like to try to bring someone else down, destroy someone else's character, their reputation, but you hiding behind a screen. You won't even show your face. Like she created a whole channel against Dr. Umar Johnson. It's called Anti-Afro. I don't even know something, y'all. SV something. I don't even know how to pronounce the last part. I don't even really think it matters, but you guys probably already saw some of her videos. Anti-Afro. That's to me the most significant part. Anti-Afro. Because I'm like, how the hell is she able to create a channel? And you got people that are, like, y'all are following this woman. I just stumbled across her video because I was looking at one of Dr. Umar Johnson's earlier videos, and she just came up. One of her videos came up in the suggested videos feed. And I click on her video and I'm like, what is she talking about? And then not only that, but it takes me to her channel and I'm looking at her videos and I actually see my face. And I'm like, she's using my face to try to discredit Dr. Umar Johnson because I made a video in support of Dr. Umar Johnson to defend all of this stuff that's going on. Unnecessary stuff, like y'all questioning his credentials, saying he's not a psychologist when he is. Y'all not making any sense. I already made several videos about that. And she feels some kind of way because I came to his defense and supported him. Now she trying to say, like, I'm not a real doctoral student. Like, what is wrong with the black community, y'all? If anything, we're going to get on here to create videos, at least create videos to uplift each other. Like, it takes a special kind of black person who will go out their way to try to defame someone's character and destroy someone's reputation. What kind of black person is that? And then for the people who are actually supporting her, I'm like, y'all have to be blind. You really have to be blind to follow someone like that, to support someone like that. To see that she boldly states on her channel, under her About tab, what she's about. She is about turning people against a conscious leader, an African American conscious leader who stands for the black community. He's fighting for the black community. Like, this is where we at in 2018 now. I mean, that's why I say I'm surprised. Well, not surprised, but this happened before, but previous leaders have been under attack, but by our own people. It's not like the white people are trying to get us. They don't even have to. The white man don't have to get us. That's the whole thing about the Willie Lynch. It's set up so that they have conditioned us so much that we tear each other down. We tear each other down. A white man don't even have to do it. And this lady is dedicated, I guess, her whole life. I don't know if she's retired. Like, who is she? She's not even using her real name. Yes, my YouTube channel name is Danny's World. That's short. Danny is short for Danielle. My name is Danielle Leach. I don't have to hide who I am. And then she got to say that, oh, this supposed doctoral student. Like, no, I'm a doctoral student. As much work as I put in the program, I'm a doctoral student. She's saying, oh, well, she's not attending a traditional. I laugh, y'all, because this is funny to me. I can't be mad at this. It's funny. She's not attending a traditional university. She can't be attending one of those traditional universities. So basically, She's saying I go to a bootleg school. I'm like, this is hilarious. What is this? It's like kind of like the same thing they're doing to Dr. Umar Johnson. Like, y'all, just stop it. Stop it to say something like that. It's offensive. It is defamation of character and it's libel. You're putting out false statements that are not true. It's not true to go out and make a video against me because I support Dr. Umar Johnson, putting out false statements to say I'm not a real doctoral student. No, sweetie. Every real doctoral program in psychology is accredited by APA. That's the gold standard. Everybody knows that APA is the gold standard. That's American Psychological Association. Like, y'all are a trip. You really a trip. And when I first started my program, I think what it is that they make these statements and try to get, it's manipulation essentially, and you can't fall for it, conscious leaders, like when you're under attack and people try to question your credentials, like they try to get you to provide proof. I'm not telling people where I go to school at. Like, who does that? No, it's about privacy. Like it's about safety. Nobody is not about to say, okay, this is the school that I go to. This is the address. Who does that? And then the fact that he's already finished his education and y'all say, oh, y'all, he has to show his degrees. That's like y'all trying to humiliate the man. How can someone dedicate their whole life to destroying a person who is standing up for the Black community? It's like, this is the war strategy that they are using against us. Not only to mention, y'all, like I haven't even begun to get into the meat and bone of this situation. Not even to mention that this lady, because I looked at I kind of, quickly browsed through one of her other videos because I don't really care to hear from people who just are negative and want to attack people, Black people who are only meaning good, but I just happened to click on another one of her videos and she thought this same woman, like for y'all to sit up here and listen to this woman, this is the same woman who's putting out there that no, Black people are not being killed by the police. She said this actually in one of the videos that she made against Dr. Umar Johnson, talking about his child support cases. She goes to say that no, Black people are not being killed by police. It's not a race thing. It's not that white people or white police are killing innocent Black people. She said this. This is the same woman that is saying that. So for her to make a statement like that, it's clear that she's not for the Black community, y'all. Y'all don't see it. She's posing as if she is for the Black community, that she's out to protect the Black community. No, that's a front. She's not for the Black community. No. No. If you have a problem with something that a conscious leader is doing, you go to them directly. You don't go and sit up here and try to tear them down and put out all these false statements against that person. You're causing confusion. You see what this man is about. That's my biggest concern. That's my biggest problem with y'all, Dr. Umar Johnson trolls, because y'all see what he's about. You listen to his lectures and see what he stands for. And then y'all trying every which way, like every way possible to try to destroy him. And I'm saying this is a legal issue here. Yes, it costs money to get lawyers involved, but who cares about that? Sometimes as a business person, as a leader, we have to do what we have to do. And when I saw my picture in her video, I'm like, wait a minute, sweetie. You definitely don't have permission to use my picture. And you can't say, oh, it's for educational purposes. No, you're trying to destroy someone's character. You're trying to defame someone's reputation. That's not educational purposes. Like, she's posing as if she's trying to educate and protect the Black community against a so-called fraud who's Dr. Umar Johnson. No, sweetie. He's not a fraud. And y'all have things all twisted. I hate that. And then somebody commented saying, oh, well, she's just one of the his sister wives, the Umarians, is trying to come to his defense. It ain't about that. You know, like I said, I made a video about, oh, what if I was Dr. Umar Johnson's wife, but that was just a joke. It has nothing to do. I support Dr. Umar Johnson because of the mission. That's what it's about. Y'all don't understand. To me, it really bothers me to see that black people are willing to go out of their way to try to tear someone down. I don't know who this lady is. That's not my purpose to try to tear the next person down. You know, but I find it quite alarming and disturbing that you have a black woman. If you so destined to, you want to be a person who acts as a gatekeeper and wants to protect people, I find it like quite interesting, those people who say this is their mission, right? This is what God laid on my heart to do. Nothing wrong with having a purpose in life, you know? But to me, it alarms me when your only purpose is against the black community. You know, it's like you have a bias against the black community because I don't see any channel, any video that you created to try to tear down people from other races, but it's all about Dr. Umar Johnson and black people who are making a stand. Y'all try to find every little thing. I laugh because she said, say I'm not a real. I'm like, okay, that's funny. I'm gonna invite y'all. I already said this before, that y'all are welcome to come to my graduation. It's gonna be turned up out here in California. You know, yes, I attend a very reputable program, a very reputable school, but I feel like I don't have to say that. Like, for what? Y'all can come and show up in my class. Y'all want to come study with me? Y'all want to? Sometimes some of the videos I've made, because I have nothing to hide. I'm pretty much an open book. I like sharing parts of my life. You know, I vlog or whatever. So I actually brought you guys inside my school. But as far as giving away the name, like, I feel like it's none of y'all's business. But I just laugh because people's assumptions, like, she's just throwing out assumptions like, oh, she probably attends this kind of school. Like, I laugh. It's funny to me because people their assumptions are so wrong, you know, and all you can do is laugh, but it's not, you laugh, I guess, as a, you know, defense mechanism. But at the end of the day, this is a serious issue. You know, it's a very serious issue. There's really not a laughing matter. And essentially, you know, when you look at her channel and her videos, you can tell that her mission is clear, and she's trying to destroy his man's character, his reputation, which obviously is not successful because his following is much bigger than hers, you know, but I feel like it can be a distraction. I just woke up about a couple hours ago. But you can, you know, it's like you can tell that's what she's about. And it's a distraction. That's all it is. Because here I am looking at Dr. Umar Johnson's videos, and her video comes up in the suggested video feed. Distraction. Outright distraction. It's like, y'all need to stop. It really hurts my heart because it's like black people don't see the big picture, and it's so out on a so-called mission. Like, they feel like their work is meaningful. They feel like what they're doing, like they're deceiving themselves to say that what they are doing is meaningful. Meaningful in what way? Like, y'all missed the whole thing. You see that this man is out to help the black community, not just young, at-risk African-American boys. You know, he talks about so many different issues. It's a laundry list of things that he's working on and he has worked on within the black community. And here y'all, like, y'all, and I'm listening to her voice and I'm like, yeah, I can tell exactly what kind of black woman she is. You can tell. She's not even giving her name. Like, to me, I feel like if you want someone to trust what you're saying, you want it to be believable, show your face. Identify yourself. At the beginning of the video, hello, my name is. I don't have to do that because guess what? In all of my videos, you guys see my name. My name is there. You see my name near my picture, on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook page. On my YouTube videos, I put the link to my website there. it just bothers me because this woman is not for the black community. She's not for the protection of the black community. What's it? Anti-Afro something. S something. It's some weird name that she has as part of her name. And I'm like, no, sweetie. And you can tell, you can identify her channel, the person I'm talking about, just by going to, when you type in anti-Afro, or even just type in Dr. Umar Johnson child support, and you'll see her video come up because you don't see her face. She has an image and she has words, like a title page for her thumbnail, basically, that she created on all of her videos. So what you see is like a colored background with words, as her title, as her thumbnail. So you won't see her face and you can hear her voice, but she's hiding. You hiding. Stop hiding. It's like nobody even have time for that. And it is a legal issue. That's why I'm putting it out there. Like, yes, maybe it's time to start to file some lawsuits. Like, nobody has time for this. But if that's what it takes to get people to see that you can't do that. Like, do you guys see what's happening? Do you see the amount of attack that is coming at this man, at the movement? It's not just about Dr. Umar Johnson, but the movement from so many different angles. And people wonder and they say, oh, why can't we get anywhere? Hello? So when basically they're trying to make Dr. Umar Johnson an example, they're trying to say, hey, look at this man. Look at the work that he's done, the good work. Okay, we're going to stop that. We're going to show you that a black conscious leader, and not just conscious, just a black person, period, trying to do things for the black community can only get so far until they try to destroy his reputation, destroy his image, and attack him and bring him down. So they're trying to make him an example to everyone else to say, if you're a black person and you're thinking about trying to bring change for the black community, watch out, because this is what's going to happen to you. This is what you are faced with. People, they try to come up with every single excuse in the book to criticize this man and point fingers at him. Trying to say, oh, he's spending the donation money. It's like, quit the bullshit. It costs more than several $100,000 to build a school, a residential institution. What part of that don't y'all understand? The people who are making videos against Dr. Umar Johnson, I'm sure they did not even support his campaign. They haven't sent any donations. These people don't care about the black community, y'all. She's posing as if she cares. She apparently can't care. For her to sit up here and make a statement, I'm not even talking about what she said about Dr. Umar Johnson, because it's clear that she don't care about the black community by trying to tear down a leader. But what I'm referencing is the statements that she's making about police brutality. Just imagine the lives that have been killed, y'all. And she got out there to say they deserved it. She's talking about the black people, the victims that have been killed in police brutality had weapons. She was like, all of them had weapons. They had guns. They deserved it. They did something wrong. I'm like, this lady, how do we have black people in the black community who don't see what's going on? They are completely aloof. They don't see the atrocities that are happening in our country against black people. They turn a blind eye to it, and you have leaders like Dr. Umar Johnson who rise up and speak out against these things and create programs. He's dedicated most of his life to educating himself, to getting training, to be able to work with the black community and give back. And look, y'all trying to, throw it down the drain? Just trying to tear it. That's a crab in a barrel mentality. It's like, what is it? What did this man do to you guys other than voice his controversial views? What did he do? It takes time to create a video. It takes time to edit videos. And for this woman to sit up here and take time out of her day to create these videos, and not just create, but edit, She's piecing together. She didn't went out there onto social media, then pulled my picture down off of Dr. Umar Johnson's page because he shared basically what he did. He shared my video. He did a screenshot of my video on YouTube and copied and pasted my YouTube link and shared it on his page. She screenshotted that particular post that he shared of mine on his page and uploaded it to her YouTube channel and used it as her thumbnail. I didn't give you permission to use my image in your video, sweetie. But you're using it. And not only that, but you're making attempts to defame my reputation, to defame my character. You putting it out there, using my name, saying Danny, to say that I'm not a real doctoral student. Oh, we're going to have some problems. We have problems, sweetie. You need to take that down. We have problems. You are getting yourself caught up. It's like, what is this? You're doing this for attention? Do you need attention that bad? You trying to draw people to your channel because you need attention by creating these videos? Not only are you sitting up here going after Dr. Umar Johnson, but you're going after his supporters? Is it really that serious? Is it really that serious? This is where we at, y'all, within the Black community. But the fight still continues. Like I say, this motivates me. People get mad. She getting mad because I say the more y'all attack Dr. Umar Johnson, the deeper my love grows for the movement to support him and what he's doing. Like, and she has a problem with that. I'm like, I'm not even a Christian, but like y'all Christians say, if that ain't the devil, if that is not the devil, y'all. She want to attack my physical appearance, saying things about me, but she won't even show her face. No, sweetie, you're not even playing fair. You're not even playing fair, and in fact, you are impeding on a person's rights. You don't own the rights to that video. You don't own the rights to any of Dr. Umar Johnson's lectures, any of that. And you're stealing audio clips, my audio clips, his audio clips to defame your whole point. She said it on her channel. My whole mission is to defame his character, to tear him down, to destroy his reputation. That's your whole mission. Don't have nothing else better to do. Look at this, y'all. Y'all see this. We got to get back to what's most important, man. Focus on the goal. I like to center myself around Black people who are purposed to build up the Black community, not tear it down. It's not to say we don't need our own internal checks and balances. Yes, but it's the way you do it, sweetie. And that ain't how you do it. You know, you're not building. She's not part of the Black movement. She's not for Black people, y'all. Anti-Afro, whatever her freaking... Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay. Anti-Afro Svengalis. Svengalis. However you pronounce that. Sounds like a different language. Whatever it is. That's the name of the channel. Anti-Afro Svengalis. Whatever. You're not for the Black community. You can't be for the Black community. You pose as if you're trying to protect, or I'm trying to protect the Black people from this man because he's taking their money and he's like, come on. We got to stop this, y'all. What is this? What is this? How is this building the Black community? It's not. The money that people have donated will be used for the school. How can you sit up here and put out statements to try to detract people away from that? He wants to build a school, and like I say, on July 4th, Independence Day, I do plan to go live and talk about the FDMG Academy. We need to keep the conversation going, you know, so that this school can get built. Black people need to know. Don't be misled and fooled, because I think that's the thing. Black people, not Black people, but sometimes people in general can be misguided and it's affecting our black community. It's affecting black people. We're being sometimes can be misguided, misled, and we sway. You are for Dr. Umar Johnson. You're like, oh, he's speaking good stuff, and then somebody like her comes in who just needs attention. Everybody needs attention at different times, but that's not how you get it. Like, that's you doing stuff to get attention. That's bad attention, man. At the expense of destroying someone, trying to destroy someone else's reputation, because it's not going to happen. What I see, and I was just reminded of this last night when I was watching more videos, is that I can see great things coming. I can see it. Like, I feel like we're getting so close to this school, y'all. We're getting so close to the next stage of this movement. It's getting stronger. When you see this amount of opposition, this amount of attack against a person, it's just a matter of time before the tides turn, because it happens to so many people, so many business leaders, successful people, that they were doubted. People told them they ain't going to be nothing. They spoke negative things and bad things about them. You ain't shit. You this, you that. And then that what happened? What do you see? That person becomes the very thing that they said that they weren't. Oh, you ain't going to do this. You can't achieve this. And then what do you see? That person goes out and achieves it. So that's what I see. So many people, oh, he ain't going to get that school off the ground. You just doubting, have no faith. Oh, ye of little faith. You're so doubtful. You're so negative and pessimistic. Oh, he ain't going to do this. He ain't. And then when it happens, it's going to be so beautiful, because it's going to be obvious the amount of attack that he's been under and he has received. So he don't even have to go out and tell people his story, because y'all know the man's story. But it's going to be beautiful when he does get the chance to tell his story and to say, look, they doubted me. Look at, and I'm trying to not cry, y'all, because it hurts my heart. But he's going to say, look at the amount of attack I was under. Look what they tried to do to my name. And yet and still. I don't need to cry. I don't want to cry, y'all. But it hurts my heart. I really shouldn't be crying, but it hurts my heart. Because people don't know, like, yeah, black people, it's different kinds of black people. It's different kinds of black people. And I feel like people that speak out against black people who are trying to make a change, they don't identify with the struggle. They turn a blind eye to it. They don't see the struggle that a lot of black people are facing. I don't know what she looks like. I know he talks against biracial people. Maybe she's biracial. Maybe she has lighter skin. He don't talk. It's not that he hates biracial, but he's just trying to get black people to identify with the African culture. Not that you have to. It's your choice. You guys have to watch his video so you can get his words correct, his message correct. It's better to hear it from the horse's mouth than to hear it from someone who, tries to regurgitate what he says. So I always refer you guys back to Umar Johnson, when I reference him and what he said in regards to different controversial topics. But I feel like some black people just can't identify with the struggle. So they go out their way to try to attack people, and it hurts. Maybe he won't be the one to say it because he's a man. Men have to stand strong. But I'm a woman. I don't have that necessary. I don't have that ego that men feel that they have to protect. The male ego. I don't mind crying because I'm just showing y'all my emotion. It hurts. It hurts to see that, and we can't stand together as a black community. It hurts my heart so much. It hurts to see that black people will go out of their way to try to tear people down. They think that what they're doing is right. They think that, they're on a mission to protect the black community. So they don't see any wrong in what they're doing. And they see when they see um, the black leaders, falling, and they feel like, okay, the school hasn't opened, they're like, yes, we told you so. They feel like they're winning. And how can you feel like you're winning if you are going against what's good for the black community? How can you feel like you're a winner? How are you a winner? Anti-Afro, the person who owns that channel, how can you feel like you're a winner? You're not. By attacking him, it hurts. It hurts because I feel like, it's one thing when the white man does something. It's almost like you expect it, right? You expect the white people to try to destroy the black community. It's unfortunate, but that's history. But black people is like, you don't expect your own. You expect to have support from your own people. I don't care that y'all see me crying. I said I wasn't gonna cry, but hey, this is just real. Me being authentic. It hurts, and you have people that will go because social media is something else, and you have people that will go and try to make a video and laugh. They laugh at the efforts of people like myself, people who support the movement, people who support people who are advocating and risking their lives for the movement. You have people that will try to sit up here and laugh at situations like that. They think it's funny. You think this is funny. It's entertainment to them. How can you guys in the black community not see they are not for us? They are not for us. It does hurt. But this is just going to strengthen us. It's going to strengthen the movement. It's going to make us stronger and to grow stronger. That's not the first time, someone has spoken negatively about me publicly, so it's not that I'm so bothered by that. I'm just bothered by the collaborative effort of these trolls who don't see it. My heart is hurting for them who don't see it, and how the system can use us against each other. It's playing out like you see it playing out. It's not white people attacking Dr. Umar Johnson. We don't see that. I have not come across a white person making a video against Dr. Umar Johnson. I see black people doing this. And it's sad, y'all. It's sad. It's hurtful. This is what you guys intend on doing. And like I say, maybe it's time to go ahead and file those charges against the trolls who want to try to defame someone's character. My heart hurts. It's not that my heart hurts for me because, hey, she posted that video and did the snapshot of my face in there. And I laugh at that because I know the truth about myself, and I know that I attend an APA accredited school. Very reputable APA accredited school, but so that's not what I'm bothered by, but I'm bothered, like I said, by this collective effort and how it's a disease. It's like one person posts something on social media, you guys latch onto it, and it has a domino effect. And in fact, for the fact that you guys don't see that it's wrong, that you guys actually think that you're doing something positive for the black community, you're helping the black community. You're not helping. You're not helping. You're trying to destroy this man's reputation. You're trying to dismantle the mission and the vision that he set out to achieve. But like I say, it ain't happening. It's not going to happen. The school is going to be built. And then what? Your efforts to try to make him lose his credentials, unsuccessful. Credentials are one thing, and he's already worked in the school system. So that's what his credentials were mainly, initially for anyway. He's earned his credentials. Y'all trying to take them away from him. It was one thing, oh, he's not a doctor. As if a black man can't be a doctor. And then now it's like you're trying to destroy his reputation. It's, to me, that is so sad. Today was my first time coming across this channel. You see, I mean, I've seen videos of people making these videos against Dr. Umar Johnson, but a whole channel, that hurts. And I mean, she made a lot of videos about Dr. Umar Johnson. Maybe, I don't know, I only saw 2 about me. And I'm just like, whatever, you know? There's something going to still be done about it. It's not whatever. Trust and believe that. I say whatever because I don't have any words for her with regards to that. But it's something definitely going to be done about that, you know? Because I feel like people post things just for attention, you know? And you can't go out there trying to destroy people's reputation. You're saying that he's lying and he's a fraud. No, you guys are a fraud. Do you know it is illegal to put out false statements in an attempt to destroy someone's reputation? You're trying to frame it as if you're trying to protect the black community. No, that's rationalization. That's your defense mechanism to excuse your wrong behavior. That's how criminals will rationalize their behavior to convince themselves that what they're doing is right. What you're doing is wrong. You cannot do that. They did that to a lot of leaders, lying on them, putting out false statements. That is illegal. You cannot do that. But yet he rises. He's still strong. He's still on tour. He's still receiving donations for the school. He's still moving forward to get this school built. That's why I say on July 4th, I'm going to come to you guys and talk about it. I'm glad. I feel better that I actually released those tears. Because sometimes people like to hold it in. And I know a lot of men just have this male ego that, you know, you have to be strong. You can't display any signs of weakness or vulnerability because they're just going to come and attack you even more. But no, it's part of healing to be able to release that. Tears are only, they're healthy. You know, God catches our tears. It's a healthy way to express oneself, to cry, to release what's inside, you know, to release the pain and the hurt that's inside. I don't hold in my pain and my hurt. I express myself. You know, some people express themselves in many different ways. And when you guys see Dr. Umar Johnson, and sometimes he's angry, and you're like, oh, you know, how can an angry person, you know, lead the black community? It's just like, sometimes you have to use that anger, you know? For me, it's tears. For him, it's anger. You know, everybody expresses hurt and pain in many different ways. But we have to definitely come together, really unite, really get back to what the original goal is, the objectives. What are the objectives? What are we trying to do? And I say get back because there's so much distraction. This is a distraction. The video that I saw, it's a distraction. That's what they are out to do. She may see this video and be like, and laugh and say, ha, ha, ha. You know, people that follow her may watch this video and say, ha, ha, and feel like they've achieved something. They achieved something by, we made her cry. We make them break down, you know. That's their goal, I guess. When they see Dr. Umar Johnson and he gets on his live feeds, which I haven't seen him do lately, but when I see him get on his live feeds and, you know, he goes off sometimes. And that's what they want. They're like, yes, we got him off of his throne. We were able to destabilize him. That's what they're trying to do, destabilize, so that a person can't be focused. And then people have yet the nerve to say, oh, where's the school? But you don't see how people are under attack. and he can't interfere. It takes a very strong person to stay the course, to stay focused, and that's the reason why I have much respect for him. And to see that you have people that are just praying and waiting. I seen a comment even on her video that she made about me being she's a supposed doctoral student, say, oh, I guess that she's trailing in his footsteps. We gotta watch out for her. Here's another one we gotta watch out for. Here's another fraud. I'm like, really? Because I support the movement to make black people more independent financially. That's what he's about. He's a black nationalist. He's a Pan-Africanist. To strengthen the black community, to make us more of a nation, a standalone nation of ourselves, so that we don't have to fall victim to white supremacy. Not to say that white supremacy is going to go away, but you have black people who are concerned about that and who are trying to strengthen the black community in many different ways by building institutions, educational institutions, to support the black community, by doing workshops within the black community, to educate the black community on these different atrocities. And we have this woman who don't even see that police brutality is an issue, to say that they are not killing black people. They kill people from other races, so they're not killing black people. It's not a racial issue. And I'm just like, are you serious? To say that these victims who were killed were not killed because of their race. That's hurtful. That's what hurts me. That really breaks my heart. To see that. Like, how can black people be blind? But like I say, it makes sense. It's surprising, but it's not surprising because there are different shades of black people. And I'm not talking about physical shades. I'm talking about psychological shades of black people. We come on a spectrum. Some of us, we just don't see the racial oppression. Some black people don't see it. To so much to the point where they stand with racist white people. I'm glad that videos like that are made because it allows me to think. I'm approaching my dissertation, and this, just me thinking about this right now, like they say, when you're a student, a PhD student is writing a dissertation, the writing, and this goes for all writers, not just people who do academic writing, but this goes for all writers. I tell writers within my organization all the time, writing just doesn't happen when you pick up the paper, the pen and the paper, or when you open up the laptop and start pressing down and banging on those keys. Writing happens when you begin to think. It happens in the mind. Your mind begins to formulate these ideas and thoughts. So I'm writing my dissertation as we speak. I've been writing my dissertation ever since I've grown committed to this mission. Ever since I've been doing these videos, I've been writing my dissertation and thinking out these issues that are affecting the black community and seeing the different angles, seeing different perspectives. It's good to see different perspectives. Don't get me wrong. That's why I'm not necessarily mad. I'm just putting it out there that these people who are making these trolls need to be careful on how they present their perspective. There's nothing wrong with difference of opinion and different perspectives, because it does help us see things, from it's important to see things from a different perspective. There's not only one way to look at things, right? And so just by her putting out those videos is reinforcing what I already know about the black community and black identity, and how there are different shades of psychological blackness and identity, African identity. It is not to say, that one person, they're not black, they're not African. They are, they just identify differently. And some people really don't identify with the struggle. They don't see anything wrong with them. You got people who are out fighting for equality, fighting actually for African independence of racial oppression. Some people want to know why. Why are they doing it? There's nothing wrong. Why are they saying these things about white people? White people didn't do anything wrong to us. That's how some black people see it. White people didn't do anything wrong. Why are they attacking? Why are they throwing out racial slurs to white people? It's like black people ain't. How can black people throw out racial slurs to white people? And we speak out against racial oppression. Do you see what's happening? Who would have known that we will have this race war? White people against black people. And black people are fighting for their survival. This ain't about some small petty stuff. This is about survival, you guys. That's what hurts, to see that black people aren't willing to stand up and fight for their own survival. You know, because they don't identify with other black people in the struggle. They don't see it. They pretend not to see it. Or maybe they just don't see it. They just don't see it. They don't see what the hype is about, what the fuss is about. They don't see why there is a need for the FDMG Academy. They're like, what is this? Why is Dr. Umar Johnson doing this? What is the point in all of this? They don't identify with the struggle. And that's the whole point of education, to enlighten people. But even with the enlightening, some people are resistant. They're like, no. Because I think when people are awakened, when there's a cognitive shift, when there's new information that comes into a person's brain that basically competes with old information that they already know, old cognitive schematic information that they have. So a black person may be in La La Land somewhere and not see anything wrong, because we're integrated, we have quote unquote access to equal opportunity. So just they don't see it. Then there's new information that comes in via Dr. Umar Johnson lectures, or another conscious leader lectures, or medium. There's different ways that black leaders are getting this information out. Tariq Nasheed, he does it through documentaries, through visual media. Dr. Boyce Watkins does it through financial education. There's so many different conscious leaders. Brother Polite has his way of doing it, getting the word out there. And so this new information comes in to the mind of African Americans who are oblivious to what's happening, and they experience cognitive dissonance. There's different ways people deal with cognitive dissonance. Initially, a lot of people, they deny it. They reject that new information. They're like, no, we don't want to hear that. We live in good over here. Because with that new information comes in, it's like contradictory to the information that's already in their mind, that we live in a just world, that there's nothing wrong. So there is stress. The cognitive dissonance basically is a stress response. They don't know what to do with it. So to relieve that stress, to get away, to deal with the cognitive dissonance, to dissolve the cognitive dissonance, what they simply do is refute that new information, as opposed to going about the extra work in their mind, taking the effort to incorporate that new information. That's just like when you can have a debate, or you can have a panel. You can have a town hall meeting, right? And in town hall meetings, you have people with many different perspectives on different topics, right? And you see people going back and forth, arguing, because it does take more effort in a person's mind to incorporate an opposing viewpoint. It does. Initially, it's like when there's contradictory information that doesn't fit into our cognitive schemas that we have within our brains, it almost sends like a threat to the amygdala in the brain. The amygdala is a part of our brain that is responsible for the fight flight response. So anytime that we perceive a threat, this is something that happens on a subconscious level. Anytime that there's a threat against the body, the brain, the mind, that response is activated through the amygdala. That's what happens when you have people who have opposing views and they project their difference of opinion onto you. A lot of people go into fight or flight mode. You know, they operate at a very subconscious, animalistic level where there's no really higher level thinking, cognitive thinking, to be able to regulate that emotional response of fear because you have this opposing information that doesn't make sense in your brain, you know? But it does take a person of higher cognitive level ability to be able to incorporate that information. When I say higher cognitive ability, I'm not talking about, oh, you have to go to school and have degrees. You know, having a degree doesn't mean that you're smarter than the next person. That's not a measure of intelligence, you know. I commend people, obviously, because who go to school and get high degrees, you know, because I'm one of them, you know, and it does take work to do that. It does take cognitive effort and ability to be able to go to school and complete any degree program. But that's not the end all be all. That's not the absolute measure of cognitive ability. So when I say to have cognitive ability, it's just taking, basically, it's having patience to be able to regulate one's emotions, to identify and recognize that, oh, I feel uncomfortable. You know, I feel uneasy with this new information that is coming at me, you know, and being able to digest that and swallow it. That's difficult for a lot of people. So when you have African American people who are in a state of mind that everything is okay, police brutality doesn't exist, racial inequality doesn't exist, and you have people who are speaking out against it, of course there's going to be this cognitive dissonance. And a lot of them just refute it, as opposed to doing the cognitive work, taking the time to analyze the situation and think about it. Now, for people who are in the struggle, who have been directly affected by racial inequality, it don't take that, because that's the information that is coming from Dr. Umar Johnson is basically in line with previous information that is stored in their brain. It's in line with their cognitive schema. So they accept it. As myself, people say, oh, they're blind. They assume that people who oppose the movement, oppose what he's saying, look at people like myself and assume that, oh, we are just blind. We're blindly accepting this stuff. We're blindly following Dr. Umar Johnson because we don't have a brain, you know, so we have been sucked up into some cult. Like, you see how they create these false narratives, try to rationalize their cognitive dissonance because it doesn't make sense to them that you have black people who are for fighting against racial inequality and standing as a nation by themselves, who are for that. Y'all are attacking people who are for that. It doesn't make sense to you guys that people like us will fight for that. It's not that Dr. Umar Johnson is snatching us up and forcing us. No. It's that what he's saying is in line with our own subjective experience as an African American. Some people may follow him because, okay, race matters and they're black, right? They may not even identify with none of the struggles. Who knows? They may, because for some people, it's about awareness. So some people may not be aware, so how can they identify with something they're unaware of? But for those of us who have walked this path, you know, I don't get on here and talking about my personal life and my history, and, you know, I wrote a book on it. It's called American Dreamer. Still being written, so I haven't released it yet. But I started writing it back in 2009. And it talks about my journey to achieving the American dream. It talks about my fight against racial oppression. People say, oh, race ain't got nothing to do. We need to stop blaming white people for everything. I don't blame white people for everything in my struggles. You will see in my book that I do take responsibility. We have to stand up and take responsibility because nobody else ain't going to do it for us. Why do you think you see Dr. Umar Johnson standing up? Why do you think you see other leaders standing up? We take responsibility, but then you have people who create videos, senseless videos, and want to attack every little thing that we do. Every little thing. Draw attention to every little thing. Oh, she stumbled over her words. So something has to be cognitively wrong with her because she stumbled over, like, I'm like, no, I stumble over. I may stutter sometimes. Sometimes if I get riled up, I get too excited, I may stumble, over my words. I remember my sister had a big stuttering problem, and I think it came from being abused. There is a link between childhood abuse and stuttering, you know? So when it comes to language expression, it has a lot to do with a number of factors. But don't ever say a person is stupid, because that speaks to your lack of education and understanding. If my thing is this, if you don't agree with what someone is saying, why subscribe to their channel? You have these people who will subscribe to our channels, follow us on social media, and you want to get out there and speak negativity. You want to get out there and follow our every move just to try to tear someone down. I'm like, really? It motivates me. I'm glad that I watched that video this morning that she made, because it just reinforces what I've already discovered in research. There's a substantial amount of research on Black identity development, not just done by Black people either. People from all different races have pointed this out. This stuff is amazing that the Black people are just aloof. They're like, what he's saying is foreign. Oh my gosh. But y'all don't realize what a lot of stuff that Dr. Umar Johnson says is cited in literature already. The stuff that he talks about, there's empirical evidence for it. Not just done by Black researchers, but most of it is done by white researchers and researchers from many different ethnicities and groups and nationalities. There's empirical evidence for a lot of stuff. Black identity, to see how Black people, keep getting interruptions, but to see how Black people go through many different stages of Black identity development within the context of this racial oppression and white supremacist structure. I can't wait to share my research with you guys. I'm still developing my research and my study that I'm about to embark on out here in Los Angeles, California, but it's amazing to see the different stages. You guys if you can't wait and you're just ready to go and learn more about Black identity development, one of the prominent researchers, that does this topic, that has a lot of research on Black identity and intercultural processes within our race and amongst other races, is this researcher, Cross. You guys Google cross-racial identity. Cross-racial identity development. I actually use one of his scales that he developed. It's called the Cross-Racial Identity Scale, and it assesses racial identity within African Americans. There's so much research that has been done on this, you guys. And again, like I say, it is not just Black researchers. He's right. It's a mixture of all different kinds of researchers who are looking at this construct. It's a very, very important construct, because it not only affects one's identity and culture, but it affects one's mental health, to see the various stages that we go through. We shift depending on our context, depending on our age. When we're younger, we may be at one stage. As we grow older and we develop a higher level of consciousness, become more educated about what's happening, we go to another stage. Different stages, and it's not necessarily progressive. It's not consecutive. It's not a linear progression. These stages can happen out of order. You can be in one stage and jump to the last stage. But I'll go into more detail about that later. And acculturation is a whole nother thing. So some black people are more acculturated to African culture than others. Some are less acculturated. Some black people are more acculturated to European culture than they are African culture. And that's where it gets tricky when it comes to the movement and getting us to come together and fight. Because, yes, people who are less acculturated to African culture oftentimes oppose many of the views that we're fighting for within this movement. So that's where we have this riffraff. And I say I don't have a problem with people having different views because it's necessary. Bring those views to my research because that's what I need for my research. I need to hear from different people, different shades, psychological shades of African people. I need to hear from you guys for my research. I would love for you guys to participate in my research study. I'm not looking for just one black person, who identifies himself as 100% African. I'm looking for many different shades of black people because your views matter to our understanding of culture and identity. It matters. I don't have a problem with people stating a difference of opinion. That's not what this is about. It's about people, because of their difference of opinion, not being able to see the big picture and to see that it's not about them just because it doesn't affect you. Police brutality may not affect you. You may not identify with the black race, even if, you're biologically black. And that's you. That's fine. That's your choice. At the end of the day, everyone has a choice, just as they do in sexual identity. But it becomes a whole nother issue. And you start tapering on the legal system. This becomes a legal issue when you go out and make false statements. There's nothing wrong with believing what you believe and holding on to what you believe based on your perspective. But when you start, because of your beliefs, going out on this tirade and making false statements against someone that are not true in an attempt to destroy their character, that's where it's a problem. You have to catch yourself. In educational institutions, you see it all the time. We have formal debates. Debates allow people to come together with differing opposing views. And it's like iron sharpens iron. So when you are presenting your views and someone else has a different view, it's not about who's right and who's wrong and who can defend their point better than the next. It's really not about that. End of the day, we all learn something. That to me should be the goal of a debate. One person is presenting their position, another person present their position, and each of them defend their positions. But it's not about, I defended my position better than you. That's, to me, I don't see debates that way. I see it as we learn something from each other. It's a lot to learn from people who are different than you. And it's a reason why they're different, and that's what my research is going to look at. We know that black people are different within our own culture. Many differences. But what shapes those differences? What are those differences accountable to? We know socioeconomic status factors into it, plays a major role. And that's why we had this discussion in my class why you see a lot of black people who get money and they leave the black community. They don't ever come back. And they distance themselves from the black community. Even Lil Wayne said it. I don't see it as a racial problem. He got money, so it may not affect him. Those constructs are intertwined. Race, class, and gender. I took a class, race, class, and gender class, actually at Florida State when I was working towards my undergraduate degree in psychology. This was many years ago. I graduated from Florida State class of 2006 at the age of 22. But I remember a class I was taking, race, class, and gender, and we were talking about the constructs, and oftentimes the students would try to talk about them independently, right? The issues that people face, within race and class and gender independently, but it's like really they are intertwined. So one's class can affect one's racial identity, believe it or not. One's gender can affect one's racial identity. These are the times that we live in, especially when you come to the women's rights movement. You got women fighting for equal rights, black women joining with white women who represent the dominant white supremacist structure. These white women represent this white supremacist structure, but you have black women joining with them to fight for rights. And there's a matter of, okay, what's more important? Your gender identity as a woman or your racial identity? For some black women, their gender identity is more important. They have more gender salience. Their gender is very salient, meaning it's very important to them. It's on the surface, whereas their race, a lot of people don't even want to bring race into the conversation. It's just like, talking about race is draining. Ugh. They don't even want to mention race. I interviewed nearly 50 authors. Go to my website at behappy.org, BIHAPI.org. It stands for Black Identity and Health and African People International. It's a website that I developed around my research on Black identity and implicit racial bias. And I asked authors, how do they identify? Do you consider yourself African American, Black? How do you identify yourself? And they're like, I don't want to see myself as either. And it's not that I'm mad at them. You can't, the thing about when it comes to working with Black people, people in general, you call yourself helping. You don't judge. You can't judge people. People are who they are, and you respect that person for who you see them as, and who they are. Not just who you see them as, but just who they are. You're a human being and respect them as such. And so if a person says they don't identify with African American, that's just who they are. There's a question as to, should that be considered is that a problem? Because we sometimes have a tendency of creating problems that don't exist. If a person, you have a person who is biologically African, right? We know that they are descendants of Africans. But in the present day, they don't see themselves as an African. Then it's something to that. I'm wanting to go behind that narrative to see what is it about African people who they just don't want to identify themselves as such. For them, it's not a problem that they don't identify. For other people who, are Pan-African, they're like, it is a problem. How can you be a descendant of African but you don't want to identify yourself as an African? That's just like, it reminds me of the LGBT thing. It's like you got people who are born a man, but they don't want to identify themselves as a man. And there's an ethical question as to, should we label that a problem because people don't want to identify with the anatomical sex that they were born with? Should that be considered a diagnosis? Homosexuality was in the DSM before, and some people look at it as, oh, they have sexual confusion, they're confused, but those people are like, no, our discomfort, our distress comes from society labeling us. So they're trying to basically make the narrative that is made with for the African race, you know, for African Americans, is that no, we don't we're not disabled, because they try to look at us like something is wrong with us, but we're saying no, we're not, we don't have problems because we're African. We have problems because you guys have problems with us, because of society has this debilitating label of what African means. So this topic is very complicated, and that's what makes for great research, you know. That's why I am ready to go full fledged into my research and my dissertation. I've actually already begun starting my lit review, but there's more to it, and I'm always welcome to hear many different perspectives. But I have to end this video by saying this, that you guys better be careful. Better be careful. Because don't think just because you're hiding behind a screen and you don't show your face that you cannot be called in a legal suit in court for defamation of someone's character based on your YouTube videos. People get in trouble all the time based on what they post on social media. Don't be one of those people. Think very carefully about what you say. You know, I know in your mind you're convinced. You have convinced yourself and believe your own lie to say that you are protecting the black community by trying to attack someone's reputation. But think again. Just be careful. And I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Look forward to my live video on July 4th. For you guys who want to see these videos live, you have to go to my Facebook page, because YouTube, I don't know, I tried their live feature on YouTube, and I don't know what's going on with that. But go to Facebook, and my name, my page, you can find it by direct access. Direct link is facebook.com/author Danielle Leach. It's very easy, you guys. It's my name, Danielle Leach. Author Danielle Leach. That is the link. You can also find it just by going to my website at danielleleach.com. My Facebook page is posted on the home page. You know, it's not hard to find my Facebook page. I have I have over 8,000 followers, so that's how you can be able to identify it. Yeah, so just come over there and subscribe and follow my Facebook page. And you guys who want to see me go live, you'll be able to see me go live with these videos, because I usually go live on Facebook. I download them, then I upload them to YouTube. So you guys kind of miss out on the live action, being able to comment and interact. For the most part, like, I mean, I will answer some questions and, you know, engage with the comments, but a lot of times you guys fail to realize that comments can be a distraction, you know. And if I have a message that I'm trying to get out there, I'm just trying to get it out there. And I go live because I actually get more space and I get more time to record on my phone versus recording a video directly. I don't get that much time. I usually get cut off when I make videos directly on my cell phone. So, all right, I gotta go, but I thank you guys for tuning in. And I hope you share this video and stop the libel, stop with the defamation, because you're gonna have a lawsuit, and best believe we can find you. If you think that people don't have the money to go to court and take it behind the court and file a lawsuit, think again. Thank you guys.